I'm waiting for it to pop up on my side.
Okay.
YouTube takes a second.
Okay. We're going to start off with Jack and Diane anyway. Alrighty. Let's see. They should be getting the notification pretty darn soon. And I should start seeing comments come up on my side. So we'll give it a minute or two before everybody starts strolling in.
Yeah, because it hasn't shown on my side just yet. Let me see if I need to come back into it. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay, cool. So people should start strolling in. Yep, there's Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey. Look like you're the first person. Come on down.
Happy hump day, everybody.
Yes, it looked like this week is flying by because we had the holiday on Monday. So, and it's a short week for me because not only was I off Monday, I was off yesterday too.
I'll see you had a nice vacation.
Yeah, I like wrapping either the day before the holiday or the day after around so I get that extra long weekend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun?
I did a lot of thrifting this weekend. I'll talk more about it on this show because I do live shows on Whatnot where I sell purses and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll tell you about it. Hey, Monique. Hey, Queen of the South. How many people we got in here so far, Bree?
So far, let's see, they're starting to roll in. I'm almost 20 so far.
Oh, great. Okay. Hi, Victoria. Welcome. I was already on YouTube listening to a Heart concert when I got the notification. Okay, Melissa.
Nice.
Hey, welcome. Janine. Hey, yeah, happy hump day. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful one. Midweek, we already halfway through the week. That Monday, I don't know for those that maybe had to work Monday. I don't know.
Better yet, we're almost halfway through the year already.
Yes, girl. June 1st is approaching in a few days, and we'll be 6 months into this year.
I'm like, it's hurricane season. Like, why are the stores busy all of a sudden? I'm like, oh, we're getting ready for hurricane season. Got it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a couple things for those who are familiar with the midweek chat. It's not like our full weekly chat that myself, Keish, Bree, and Trish normally do on Friday nights. But it is usually where we can kind of talk about some of the hot topics that has been happening at least in these 3 days so far. And we got some stuff to talk about. And I always have my girl Bree on. Yeah, where we kind of touch base and, with you guys and have a little bit of conversation in regards to what has happened so far. Oh, Cheryl says she just got the notification. Okay. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Maya. All right. So we're going to talk about a couple things that's happened and transpired over the last couple days. First of all, if you can see on screen, this situation with Jack and Diane, Nikki. We'll talk a little bit about Victor and her because, he's lying through his teeth to his family. And then we got some bold stuff. We got Hope's fantasy of Finn. We got to talk about Hope and Steffy. Would Steffy want to cancel her line? And then the ultimatum, because it was 2 ultimatums. One given by Diane to Jack. And if you follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I posted a video edit with both of the ultimatums. So I know people like Vicky saw it because she comments on everything I post. The girl is on it. And so we had this ultimatum, and then we had to talk about the ultimatum with Finn and Steffi as well, and how that's going, which it ain't going. So.
Oh, it's going. It's just going nowhere. It's going somewhere, just nowhere.
Just nowhere, and nowhere fast, right? All right, so let's talk young business. And for those that are new to this channel, my name is T, and we got Bree on the phone with us as well. And
hey y'all.
And this is Soap Corner Talk. So we talk everything, pretty much just CBS soaps. And when the gates come in the next 6 months, you guys, January will be here in 6 months almost. We'll be talking the gates as well, and about that soap. So, yep.
I'm so mad they haven't. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I'm mad they haven't provided like a cast list for the gates yet.
Yeah, I think what they're going to end up doing is really having a big announcement through a trailer. And you'll get to probably see who's who in their trailer. Like, oh my God, so-and-so is going to be there. Oh my God. And they give us a whole... like they do with a movie trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they go. And I could be wrong. Maybe they'll give us a list. Because you would think by now they would have, but...
I've been stalking IMDb, and trying to the CBS like cast production thing listed they have on their website. Mm-hmm. I haven't found anything. I want to know this cast immediately.
Well, I guess we gotta wait and see, girly. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's first touch on this that's on the screen. This is conversation that Jack and Diane had, because Nikki sashayed her butt over to the Abbott estate. And technically, some people think she got out of rehab real quick. I think she only been gone for 2 weeks. And then she's if that. And then she is on an outpatient basis. Okay, fine, whatever. This is the soaps. But she make a beeline over to, check on Jack. And then in the same breath, ask him to be her sponsor again. And it's like, Victor was already pissed. Diane is already pissed. Jack almost unalived himself. And you want to go down that road again?
That was the dumbest thing she has said thus far this year. And Nikki has said a lot of dumb things. This was dumb. This man had to be resuscitated to get you out of your addiction. And it almost cost him his life and his marriage. And you want to put him back in the same position again. Why? Are you that bored with your own marriage? You want to torpedo another? And my thing is, Victor's not going to go for this. She's literally trying to cause an issue between herself and her husband at the same time too. And she knows that Diane is not going to go for that either. So it's like, why are you going through all this trouble just to keep Jack around?
Yeah, my thing is, you sat up in your house across that couch and gave all these things about you're remarkable and you're so smart. And I'm like, I don't understand. Is this a pep talk or is this your girlfriend?
I don't know what that was. Diane is being a little too passive for me.
Oh, she's hotter than fish grease tomorrow.
Really? Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Because this is way too passive. First of all, this woman should not even be in my house.
I mean,
for one, you were just in a hotel with this woman and you almost lost your life because of this woman. Well, I don't want her anywhere in my house.
The other thing, Bree, is you know how your wife feels about it, and you just give Nikki a quick, yes, I'll do it. Did you not think you had to talk this over with Diane first? Even though she's going to say no, but still.
This is the dumbest billionaire I think we've had in history. And there's a lot of dumb billionaires on Y&R. Correct. But this was stupid on his part. Like, is he even fully committed to Diane? That's what I'm confused by, because it seems like As soon as he gets into the mode where he wants to save somebody, that's where he just directs all of his attention towards. Because he was just, that's actually how he got with Diane. He was too busy trying to save her, even putting himself at risk of going to jail and committing crimes for her. This is what he does. And now that Diane is just kind of peaceful and calm and just, completely just bland, I guess at this point, he needed some excitement. I guess Nikki's addiction was excitement for him. But
so who does that sound like to you? Think about it. Captain Save 'em. Who does that sound?
Yep.
Who does that sound like to you?
There's quite a few of them on the show, but that does sound like some Liam.
Yep, exactly. That sounds exactly like little puke waffle boy Liam.
And what does that make Jack? The overly grown version of that?
I know,
he
right?
He overly grown for this.
I mean, but think about it. If you go back in time over the last couple months, Bree, Jack has pretty much made Nikki the priority over not only his wife and marriage, his sister.
Yes.
And, the situation is going on over at Jabot because his wife and his son are at odds. And then that whole thing with Harrison. I mean, I think Summer was more overly involved in the situation. I mean, even with the kidnapping, Nikki was still up in that house talking to him about her addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame Diane because it's like, dude, why are you making this woman a priority over us? I understand she's got a disease or something, but you don't need to be her sponsor at this point.
At all. And Victor wouldn't even agree to that. And why does he want to be at this point? You would think his marriage would be the focus, especially since she was on her way out.
Right.
And let's keep in mind, this woman didn't sign a prenup. She could walk away with a lot. Mm-hmm. And he is just moving very foolishly as a billionaire. And I don't understand why he feels he needs to be the one to save her when Nikki has a son, she has a daughter, she has all these other people around her. She has like a whole team that can support her. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Jack.
And Amaya, yeah, you're right. He does the right thing tomorrow, but she had to go through. I mean, this man, girl, you got to see it. I mean, the lengths he tried to excuse a way of trying to figure out a way to still be with Nikki and have her just deal with it. And she was like, nope. I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it, but I'm going to be out. How about that? And then at the last minute, toward the end of the episode, he's like, okay, fine, I won't be Nikki's sponsor. He didn't say it like that, but, it's like, why do we even have to get this far?
It didn't have to. Jack has always had a choice in the matter. Mm-hmm. And I partially blame Diane as well, because she had the opportunity to stop it and say, no, I need for you to be my husband. Let her focus on, getting help from her family. Instead, she had that opportunity, but she was being very passive and was like, what, Jack, I trust you. Go ahead and be there for your friend and this and this. So she herself had an opportunity to stop that, but Jack has had choices that he's made, and he had plenty of opportunity to get her the proper help. Even he knows that she needs the proper help, and he's not the best fit for her. He knows this. So why does he want to continue going down this rabbit hole unless they both caught feelings for each other again at this stage of their lives?
Girl, I don't know. She explained why she felt the way that she felt 11 times, right? And he was still like, but you don't understand. But it's different. I'm like, do you hear yourself? You're fighting harder to be in this situation with Nikki than looking at your wife about to walk out on you.
Yeah, that goes to show this is very much Liam characteristics. Because as soon as he finishes saving them, he on to the next assignment. It's like Nikki got her bat signal up. Come save me. And these men are ready to put their cape on and ready to save the day. And I'm like, his poor wife. And then granted, we know this is Diane. I'm not cheering on Diane. It's just a scenario. Because I think anybody in this position would kind of feel for Diane. Like, he's being a piece of work, and he's not even there for her in a business sense either. And he's supposed to be running that whole company. He's just really choosing to fall on the wayside for Nikki. And for what? He's been there, done that. That's been remixed to the fullest extent. There's only so many ways they can keep putting Nikki with other men. Like, why does he want to be back in that on that merry-go-round? Why?
Yeah, I agree. The other thing with this, I will tell you that Diane does take accountability for the fact that she was too passive. She brings that up tomorrow. So, and you're absolutely right on that. You really are. In regards to Nikki is very manipulative. When she was drunk that night in the hotel with Jack, she admitted that she chose him as a sponsor because she could get her way.
Exactly.
She don't really want this man as a sponsor to hold her accountable. She want this man as a sponsor because she knows that Jack is pretty much going to do whatever it takes to make her happy, even if she's wrong.
Yeah. And you would think alarm bells would ring in that man's head, but there's probably just two acorns or something. There's this shuffling around in that brain of his, but
yeah.
He has really just lost his mind. This between both of these two women, the crimes that he committed for Diane, and then now him almost losing his life for Nikki. He has a thing for danger. This is why I always felt that he and Phyllis were perfect together.
Girl,
this is why he's aching for somebody to give him that danger.
Now the thing is, even though he decided to do the right thing, as like Amaya said, he did at the end. My question is Nikki going to actually go along with that? Because I've heard a few rumors that they're going to sneak around. So, why?
They too damn old to be sneaking around. Y'all got grandchildren.
I mean, not that type of sneak around, but they're going to, when she needs to talk to somebody because she's feeling some kind of way about, her addiction. That's the sneaking around. Well, I'll meet you over here, or I'll meet you over there. Don't he realize that y'all gonna get caught? Somebody gonna see you.
And if you desperately need to talk to him, you can't text him. Why do you have to see him?
Girl, they were in the middle of an argument in tomorrow's episode, and Nikki texted him. And of course, Diane looked at him like, yeah, see, what did I do?
I'm hoping that Diane goes to Victor and say, like, look, you need to keep your wife away from my husband. She is the one who's controlling the situation. Mm-hmm. I feel like it would be kind of refreshing. And writers, producers, we know you listen to the podcast for real. Mm-hmm. But to see Diane and Victor kind of tag team to kind of split Jack and Nikki up somehow, I really hate the fact that Nikki's really taking full advantage of it, of the situation, but Jack is allowing it like an idiot. He's too old for this.
You see Cheryl Hines' comment. She said maybe a pine cone should fall on Jack's head.
That didn't do Ridge any justice. He's still making stupid decisions. At this point, if we can just shine a light through his skull, let's see if there's anything in there at this point. Mm-hmm. Because it's just nothing but air. It's just nothing but whistles. He's just Nikki lives rent-free in that man's brain. Mm-hmm. Apparently. She got a couch, got the kitchen, got a nice view. She is living rent-free in that man's head and is not his wife.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, and every decision this man has made has been for Nikki, and that's unfortunate. And Diane is unfortunately just poor woman.
Well, I can imagine he's so devoted to Nikki that even if they were having an intimate session and him being in mid-stroke, he still would probably get up and say, "Ooh, Nikki called."
I'm pretty sure he probably had.
Be like, wait a minute, where are you going? Well, Nikki called. She needs me right now at 2 a.m. Yeah, but we were, so I'll be back. What? No, but it wouldn't surprise me that he would do something like that, because he would drop a meeting at work. You the CEO of a major corporation, and you drop everything to go and run and see your rival's wife.
His rival's wife, and and he's supposed to be also running a company. He let his company fall by the wayside. By the wayside, putting Diane, who has no experience, as a CEO.
Girl, wait a minute. What's so funny is Melissa Spencer said to you, Bree, the light bulb in Jack's head blew out a long time ago. She just haven't replaced it yet. That's funny.
It's factual.
It's factual. All right, let's move on. We spent a good 22 minutes on these two. We also have on The Young and the Restless, since she wants to actually, she needs to be having a conversation. These two are keeping secrets from each other. So Nikki is having told Victor about the fact that she asked Jack to be her sponsor again. And Victor lied too about Jordan.
Oh gosh, that's right.
He come up in there talking about, well, where's everybody? I need to meet with y'all. Well, it's about Jordan. We found her on the riverbanks. She was barely breathing, and we called the police, and they're coming to take her away. And I'm like, and there's holes in that story, sir.
There's more than holes. There's Brussels sprouts. There's stench. There's a lot of stuff in this story.
She said Brussels sprouts. Girl, you so crazy.
I have a question for the people in the chat, because Nikki and Victor have been married for over 40 years. Is this how you keep marriage alive? Keeping secrets and hiding criminals and hiding your addiction from one another? Is this how you keep the marriage alive after 40 years? Didn't they just have an anniversary? And this is the example they're supposed to be.
I know, right? I mean, he came up in there live with a straight face, him and Cole.
They looked relieved. Why did it take almost a whole episode for him to get up out of that room with that stench?
Well, the thing is, I would think, and I know they're trying to keep that a secret, but he got security people and people that he could pay to keep quiet. Why are they the only two people in there building a brick wall in front of that jail cell?
I don't know.
You got Victor, who, he's up in age, and he over there picking up big boulders of bricks, trying to build a brick wall. I'm like, where's your people at?
He could have had an interior designer. He could have. He could have got the same people who put the dungeon in there in the first place. Say, hey, I want to renovate this room.
Boom. Did it look like he was sad to see that little cell go?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I'm like,
with his freaky self, he sure was sad. He was extra excited every time he came down into that dungeon. He was happy. That's why he had a whole red chair there. He was happy to take in the smells. He was happy to see her as a little prisoner girl. We've seen a lot of fetishes in 2024.
I know, right?
This is definitely one of them. But this man had a lot of money. He could have hired someone to do that for him in 2 hours.
I know. I'm like, now Amaya said that, and I thought the same thing, because if they did bring somebody down there, they now know about that too. However, could it be a way where, I mean, he got some people, but who knows? He afraid maybe they will tell on him, or the secret to get out. I don't know.
And he has a whole lawyer who can put a disclosure agreement saying, hey, you didn't see such and such, and go from there.
NDA, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I meant to say. So he's not new to this. I don't understand why he's moving so scary now. He's never been scared to go to jail before or to take someone's life before. None of that. So, but now Jordan has him scared, I guess.
Jay is in the chat. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that, they're all able to breathe, brother. I'm glad Jordan was able to get some fresh air. She was tired of smelling herself. I could understand that.
Yeah. Well, it looked like both Claire and Nikki was freaked out that Jordan is actually still alive. And Cole was like, oh no, I've seen her. She's weak, barely breathing. She's not going to be able to do anything to anybody. And she's in a maximum security prison. Okay. We'll see. By November sweep, she'll probably be out.
No, I won't even give that. In July. Actually, no. At the end of June, Jordan be back on the streets, terrorizing everybody, because once again, she gets away with everything.
I know. Right?
So we'll see her in June, back on the streets, guaranteed. And probably by next year, she'll be married to Victor.
I know. Who knows? He'd be like, remember that sale? I was having some cravings. We could roll around the floor in the Brussels sprouts. Oh my God.
Oh, goodness. Kissing up on her. Could you imagine? That's the weird taste buds this man had. But anyway.
Oh, God, girl, yeah. All right. Moving on, we are going to switch gears, because that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with The Young and the Restless. Tomorrow's episode, you guys, I'm telling you, it's good. It's touching upon... if you haven't seen my post on Facebook and the Facebook groups, I did post it on X, and I also posted it in the Instagram story about Alan Laurent and whether he has a twin. The plot thickens, which I'm really liking that twist.
Me too. I'm excited for it. Like this, I love Ashley's storyline. This is my favorite on YNR for this year. As much as I love Jordan and I love Calling Zeke, I love them, but this storyline really keeps me engaged. I'm really anxious to see what's going to happen with this Alan character. And I don't know, it makes me wonder if they're really going to keep him on for a long while, because he's a good actor from what I can see, but he's obviously can mix it up a little bit, so I'm excited.
Oh God, yeah. So it's a combination of a couple things. So the situation with Jack, and then the other situation with Audra and Tucker, and she's like done. And then of course we see Tucker run into whoever this guy that looks exactly, spoiler alert, whoever this guy that looks exactly like Alan. And when Ashley was in Paris back then, Alan, the real Dr. Alan, wasn't even in town. So who was she with? Which was this doppelganger. Now, what happened with that doppelganger is the question.
Everybody's a twin.
Girl, I'm like, dang, we just dealt with the Sugar Sheila thing.
Yeah, everybody's a twin. Like, Mariah's a twin. Who else is a twin? Wasn't What's that person's
Remember
name?
back in the day when they had William Bardwell and the other guy?
Yes, that's who I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Jill's ex-husband.
Right.
He was a twin.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of twins on the show. I can't think of them all, guys, but that's really their go-to. But in this case, I'm all for it because this is a very fun, exciting storyline for me to watch.
I just hope it wasn't nothing. What's the word I can use on YouTube? Essay like.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Maybe she
not.
had an argument or something with this guy, but I'm hoping that it wasn't essay. Whatever it is, those altars are trying to protect her from it. So,
except for one of them, and that's Belle. Like Belle doesn't view him.
That's right.
Belle doesn't view him as harmless, or doesn't view him as someone who can attack her. She thinks he's harmless. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I want to see what happens with the rollout of the storyline. It's getting really good, and Eileen Davison, she got that Emmy this year.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get it for 2025. After doing this, yeah.
And if she doesn't, I'm rioting.
All right, so let's switch gears again. Good episode tomorrow. Make sure you check
he's
it
right.
out.
Yes, right. Yeah, Hillary's a twin. Jack had a twin. Marco
Everyone has a Sally. Yep. Sure did. All right. So let's talk some bold business. Okay, dokie. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is the situation with Steffy and Finn yesterday. Go ahead. I'm going to give you the floor.
This all could have been prevented if she just cooked in her own damn kitchen or had Liam go get the pizzas. Finn would not have been there had it not been for those pizzas. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't even remotely even go there. So, okay, I understand. And let me say this. I understand Steffi's point of view. I do get that. Mm-hmm. But she constantly puts this man in predicaments to where he's going to run into Sheila. And I'm like, what the hell does she want him to do? He can't live in a bubble. They live in the same city. Mm-hmm. She can't stop Sheila from going wherever. She can't stop Finn from going wherever. Sheila could pop up at the hospital. She can pop up anywhere, and they can run into each other. They went to El Giardino because all the Forresters eat at El Giardino. They are part owners and investors of El Giardino at this point. Mm-hmm. So as much as they eat there and don't cook, all of this could have been prevented had Steffi just cooked in her own house, or if anything, gone to El Giardino herself. She has no problem popping up on Sheila. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all right there in the same building. So I did not like the fact that she kept saying, "You disobeyed me." That is a grown man. Show some respect. He didn't disobey you. He's not a child. He went there, and he just was reluctantly had to be a part of the facilities while he was waiting on a pizza for her daughter.
Yeah. Sean just said the same thing. She said she stayed treating him like Finn is her child and not her husband.
She got this dictatorship, this takeover spirit, and it's not just Finn. She's like this with everybody, but in this particular case, that's a grown man. Yeah. The way she talks at him whenever she doesn't get her way is just very inconsiderate. And I wish that Finn would just lift up his shirt and say, like, look, you can't sit here and say I'm not loyal to you when I have a bullet wound in my stomach or in my chest, wherever he got,
Right. It was in his belly. Yeah, and Cheryl, I said the same thing. Send Liam Uber Eats or DoorDash. I mean, It was Kelly that wanted this doggone Il Giardino pizza so bad. So you were on your way to Steffi's house. Why didn't you pick up the pizza on the way and bring it to the house?
I mean, he's quick to bring toys and book bags and everything. What? Go get some pizza. I mean, he's at El Giardino just as much as the Forresters are. He's not at work, so we know, if anything, he's at Forresters or El Giardino. He could have picked up those pizzas. But she
Mm-hmm.
had the doctor who works long hours, probably tired that day, go and pick up pizzas because she's too lazy to go do it.
Girl, listen. My thing is one thing to remember what happened, all that. I get it, but it's the way you talking to somebody. Be like, who are you talking to? I mean, what
And
you say?
the one said Steffi just knows her worth. No, she overpriced her
Ooh,
worth. Let's be
let me
clear.
scratch my head on that one.
Steffi is overly pricing her worth because this is the same woman who put him in a paternity situation, who put her husband in predicaments to where he has to defend her, has a whole bullet wound in his belly. Like, she's overpricing her worth. If anything, she should be lucky that he even remembers her name after a lot of stuff that he's been through with her. And I understand her reasoning for him not wanting to be around Sheila, but that's why she gave the ultimatum. He gave an answer. And yeah, the picture, I get it. He shouldn't have done the picture, but like, he's not dressed for a freaking wedding. He was there to pick up pizzas. He was in sweats or whatever. He didn't want to be there. He was there for her daughter, primarily, because she just had to have that specialty pizza. But no, Steffi is overly pricing herself. She's not worth what she thinks she is. If anything, she's worth, especially after today's episode, she's worth like a box of rocks at this point.
All I know is that this man is either you gotta pick something. Because part of this man, he's sitting. Once Steffi walked out of the kitchen and went into the room because she's pissed. And then, wait a minute, let me back up a little bit because she said, "Were you going to tell me the truth?" And I'm like, he's like, I was in the middle of telling you until you got that photo message. The thing is, she's projecting because
Mm-hmm.
she's holding back on some truths that he don't know about right now that's been sitting in wait for about 8 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're wondering if he was going to tell you because that's something that she would do.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Because that's all she knows how to do. And he put a ring on that, which is his choice.
mm-hmm.
But it's time for him to really put his foot down. I am happy that Hope told him, look, it should be your decision on how you want to go about your life, which is 100% true. And what I will give Steffi credit for is she gave him the ultimatum, like, look, either which way, either it's her or me, I'm good. You just have to choose and actually stick with it. Finn has an issue with sticking with his promises. But in this case, I don't feel that he broke his promise. He
Mm-hmm.
was reluctantly there, and she had him go there instead of the father of her child go pick up the pieces for their kid.
Yep.
But it is what it is. But he's always going to continue being the bad guy, and she's not being realistic. Like, Sheila is free. Like, what are you going to do? She could walk down the street and bump into you guys. You're going to freak out and then blame Finn for even saying hi or having interaction. He's not going to live in no bubble for you. You're not worth that, to be honest.
Yeah, he got to speak up.
Yeah.
If you can't sit back and sit in the kitchen and think about what Hope said, and then you also telling Steffi, I choose my family, and whoa, the things that you're doing is putting you're not causing the problem. It's the fact that you're hanging out with Sheila causing the problem, meaning putting their safety at risk. No, you're putting your own safety at risk. You went to that girl's house 3 times in the last
Yes.
8 months, punched her twice. She didn't retaliate. And even up until
Mm-mm.
2 weeks ago, she went straight over there like a deer in the headlight. She just walked in. But you're afraid.
But she's scared. Like, hide our kids. Like, we can't be around Sheila, but she has no problem with this. Actually, the whole Foresters had no problem with Deacon and Sheila's food and their atmosphere. They don't mind. They're never in fear going to El Giardino. But anything outside of that, they need to get security guards. They need to do this, that, and the third for the kids. They need to make up their mind. They cannot have it both ways. That woman is free, mostly and partly due to the Forresters. Due to Ridge and Bill.
Yeah.
If anyone's to blame, it's those two, because Sheila was already in jail.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, y'all going to, well, Steffi always going to the house. And y'all coming up to the job. I mean, y'all claim y'all want this woman to stay away, but y'all keep going to her or to Deacon's house or his business and all this kind of stuff. If y'all really want to stay away from Sheila, stop ordering pizza from there. Stop going over there. Liam is always up in Deacon's face. Steffi going over to the house and confronting folks. It's like, are you really truly afraid of these people or no?
Exactly. They had plenty of opportunity to put Sheila away. Sheila is now free. So there's nothing they can do about it unless they want to get up out of LA. But it's Steffi cannot expect for her husband to live in a bubble. And she cannot get mad at any and every interaction that he has with Sheila. I mean, it's inevitable. They're going to run into each other, especially if she keeps putting him in predicaments to where he's going to run into this woman.
Yeah, I mean, Dewan is definitely Team Steffi in the chat. And, I get it. But, Steffi, you cannot say that you're afraid of somebody yet want to run and be in the space with the person that you're afraid of.
Right. You can't have it both ways, girl, at all.
All right. But we also now have to talk about somebody that's having fantasies. Last year, around the same time period, is when Hope started fantasizing about Thomas. And we got the disco lights and the music. And then, of course, it led up into June. Yeah, June of 2023 is at the end of June is when they headed off to Rome.
She's horny. It's been a couple of months. She ain't had Thomas. She keeps saying that she still misses him. I can't stop thinking about him. Yeah, girl, any touch from any man, it will probably do, because she ain't had it in a while. That's what I really feel that is. I didn't, when I saw her, I guess, fantasy, it didn't look like what it was last year with Thomas. I mean, she was putting her whole back into it. Like, she was happy to be on top everything when she was fantasizing about Thomas. She had her hair done, highlights, everything, wind machine. That was a full-blown fantasy. All she was thinking was like, okay, Finn was touching me. Okay. And that was it. I think she's just horny. She ain't had it in a while. That's all. That's what I'm thinking, y'all.
I mean, but did you hear her when she was talking to, and we'll get into that because I have the photo for that as well, when she was talking to Steffi about hope for the future. She said that Thomas, the way he talks to her now, and I guess the voice tone has changed. So, I'm wondering if he's like over it now. I don't know. That was pretty interesting, that the way that she said that, in my opinion. But this whole fantasy with her going back to thinking about Finn's hands touching her head and her neck and her shoulders and giving her a massage. It's got her thinking. Now, it's not like a fantasy like you said, Bree, from last year when she was, yeah. I think they're trying to, it's a different dude. So, I mean, Thomas is the bad boy. They had to have the lust and the energy to come with it. Finn is not Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm wondering if they are trying to have a little bit more softer, sweeter, slow burn type of fantasy when it comes to Finn and her.
We don't want that. We've been spoiled. We were spoiled all of last year, okay, with soap. No, give it to us, okay. Hit
Well,
us
wait a
like a
minute, girl.
brick.
Listen, who knows? Just say if they put Finn and Hope together, and Finn actually blow her back out, we would be shocked, especially if he's giving her more than what he gave Steffi.
You know, maybe that's why Steffi wants to hold on to her marriage, because I keep wondering why she hasn't left this man. I mean, she could easily say like, "Look, you're related to Sheila. You keep interacting with her. I want a divorce. I'm going to leave you." But she wants to keep that marriage together. So maybe Finn is doing a little something. I mean, he is a doctor. He probably knows the right chords to,
Pressure points and stuff.
right pressure points, and and good for him. I mean, that's a great skill set to have. But to be on a Thomas level, I need to see that. I would need to wait and see that.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's think about it, because I do have the videos. For those that follow me on Instagram, I kind of in the fall posted little different love scenes from both soaps. And I mean, Finn was the type of guy that picked Steffi up. There was that scene where she was laying on her stomach and he was hitting it from the back. Remember that?
No. Wait a minute.
Girl, and she was grabbing the edge of the bed, digging her fingers into the... girl, come on.
It must have been a minute, because they haven't had a scene in a while. I completely forgot about that.
And she turns around and looks at him. Girl, come on now. It had to be, let's see, COVID was 2020. How long they been together? What, 3 years now? 4 years now?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, so he might have it in him, girl. He you know how they say when people like to play doctor. And he is a doctor.
I need to see it to believe it, because as far as I'm concerned, Thomas is that guilty pleasure, because she's still thinking about Thomas even when she had that meeting with Steffi. So I would love to see what Finn is working with, but I'm a little turned off to him, especially with the storyline with Sheila. So
I'm gonna go through my Instagram. I'm gonna try to find that photo, that video, and I'll message you so you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I need to see that, because we haven't seen Finn get it in a minute. It would be refreshing to see somebody try to outdo Thomas, but I don't think that's likely. We know Liam ain't gonna be up to the...
Oh my gosh.
And maybe that's why Steffi's not even remotely trying to think of Liam in that way. And she's trying to keep Finn around, because she knows what Liam has to offer. She's like, do I really want that back? No, I'm gonna stick around and try to make this work with my husband.
Right. Because I mean, Steffi and Finn did, because I think Keish said it's been almost 2 years since we actually saw a scene between those two. But when we were getting scenes from them, girl, he picked her up, had her up on the windowsill. There was a couple of hot scenes with him, and like I said, especially with that one scene I was just talking about a few minutes ago. Girl, we ain't seen nothing like that in a while. I'm not even feeling what's her name? Oh, Sally and Adam. How did we admit they just moved in? How do you not christen that apartment? They went from a kiss to just laying on their back in bed. I'm like, Young and the Restless, what is wrong with you?
And the elevator music, and
girl,
everything's just slow motion. I'm like,
you had a sexy. I remember back in 2022, we were so excited about Sally and Adam. Like, oh my God, yes, great. It's like they just deflated the air out of them. But yeah, you got them back together though.
Yay. We're so thrilled for that. But it just, Y&R had like completely watered down their love scenes, and B&B, it seems like only one couple on the show is getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
But Okay, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
well, actually,
girl.
a correction. Hope's not getting it in at all. She's fantasizing about her headache and needs relief for her headache since
Mm-hmm.
Thomas has been gone.
Yeah. I agreed to one. We do need Adam and Audra. I'm
Yes.
over Sally and Adam at this point. That ship has sailed over a year ago for me.
Yeah.
Ever since they threw Nick in the middle of that nonsense, I was done.
Me too. But I mean, I'm you know happy that this keeps Adam in the good graces of everybody. I guess so
That
they
is
won't make him an
true.
enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Adam and Nick are brothers
Mm-hmm.
finally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm good with them, with Sally and Adam being together for that reason. But I'm with you and Dewan. I need Adam and Audra.
Girl, that would be, but then they gotta let it play out. We can't just see a kiss and then poof.
Yeah.
They're done and they're just looking at the ceiling like what happened yesterday. I'm like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
They in an apartment, not the hotel. They could have had the counter. Remember that scene where it Nick and Phyllis on when it was Gina Tognani when they were on top of the island in the kitchen?
That was her and Nick. I thought it was her and Billy.
Was that her? I thought that was her and Nick. I could be wrong. It was somebody, but it was hot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
And we need to go back to because that's part of the soaps.
Yes, it's the hot scenes, the spicy scenes. We get to see the guy shirtless. That's why I'm mad we haven't seen Carter shirtless in a long time.
Oh, we got to talk about that. Katie getting on my nerves.
Mine too.
You know what?
Her,
Let's talk about Katie right quick. Hold on.
yeah.
Let me. Did I? What happened to it? Oh my God! I didn't bring it over. Okay. Well, let me bring over Hope and Steffi because we'll just have that on the screen once we finish talking about Hope and Steffi.
Okay.
Did it seem to you that this was strictly business with Steffi and Hope made it personal, or do you think it's petty by Steffi?
I think Steffi made it personal and she's hiding behind a business move decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she ever cared for Hope's line. She never wanted Hope's line. The only reason Hope has one is because Katie was CEO at the time, and she wanted to be spiteful towards Steffi. That's the only reason why Hope for the Future is even a thing. And I always felt that Steffi always wanted to have the upper hand and to destroy the line. And now that Steffi is the CEO, the power's in her hands, and she's able to take that away from Hope. I just don't like the fact that she last year was trying to look out for Hope, trying to make sure she has the Thomas designing, make sure that everything was running afloat for that line, and then all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. Now it's not a good business decision to keep it around. Now, granted, I would be very happy for them to get rid of Hope for the Future because Hope has outgrown that line personally. That was a virginal teenage sort of line that she had, and Hope is a grown woman with divorces on her belt, got 2 kids. She cannot, keep going in that direction. So if the writers are moving her away into something more mature for her age, I'm perfectly fine with that. But Steffi's reasoning is it makes no sense. She was just saying that RJ and Zende were doing well. And I'm like, you haven't even seen the line yet for you to say that it's doing poorly.
Well, I mean, she kind of double talked because she was like, well, it's not transitioning because, Thomas is gone and okay. And Hope kind of threw it back at her. Well, why is he gone? Because you forced him out of town. You told him to go. And he went. You wanted him away from me. And he definitely went away from her. Now, of course, he's coming back. I'm wondering how he's coming back. Is he going to come back for Thope? Or is he going to come back with somebody? Or is this just to save the line? Who knows? But we'll obviously get spoilers for the upcoming week or whatever. But I mean, where's this girl supposed to go? It's one thing if Steffi said, "Look, I don't think Hope for the Future is going to work, but let's see if we can come. I got a different idea. I would like to take you down in a different direction." She pretty much is saying we're gonna have to cut the line. So what would that leave Hope?
With all the free time in the world to go after Steffi's man. Steffi's an idiot. You would think giving this woman a job so she can focus on everything but her man would be the right move. But now you want to get rid of her line so she has all this time in the world to be up underneath your man. What an idiot.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, yeah, I know it's going to lead us into tomorrow because by Friday, Hope is declaring war. So
we'll see about that. Well, she'll definitely have her mother on her side because she won't allow anything to happen to her kids.
Yeah, she's been a little passive lately, but we should probably see Brooke speaking up. Plus, it kind of blends into, Catherine Kelly Lang saying about a new storyline about business, which we kind of got a heads up into that when we saw, that whole thing when they were over at Eric's house. And Bill and what's the girl named Donna was talking about how you need to have more of a part at the company. I'm like, oh, okay, now they're trying to tie in that.
I'm happy for it. I'm happy that the producers are listening to the podcast. I could have swore I said this is what the direction they need to go in with Brooke, to have her have that back and forth with Steffi and try to be in a position to where she works side by side with Rich. I know I said this. I'm glad you guys are listening to the podcast, writers, producers, CBS, Brad Bell. If only you listen to us a little bit more to help with these storylines, but I'm glad that they're going this direction with Brooke.
Yeah. Now, that brings us to this situation with Poppy and Bill.
Oh, Lord.
So they look like they did a pivot in this storyline because the last time we heard about the paternity situation was probably, this is May, probably back in March, I think. So it's shelved because they brought Sheila back. So we had the whole Sugar Sheila situation for the last 6 to 7 weeks. Now we're back to this. Now originally they pushed it away from Bill being the father because she was adamant about it. And now we circle back to this storyline where it looks like she's saying you may be a possibility. So, and then they want to run and take a paternity test. And of course that'll make Luna happy because she wants Bill to be her dad and all this kind of stuff.
I would want a billionaire to be my dad too. Sure. I think everybody would. Please tell me how this man hits it once and she's in love with this man after 20 years. He hit it one time.
Girl, he must have gave her an awakening like Hope had.
And okay. Where did this come from? This was the most random thing regarding Poppy's storyline and this paternity thing. Everything has been pointing toward Finn or possibly Jack being Luna's dad.
Correct.
There's been way too many instances prior to today where she has said he is not the father. There's no possibility. There's nobody else. It couldn't possibly be him. Now she's saying he could be. So could meaning he is one of many, or one, or like at least a second possible father.
Right.
And I'm like, if he was a possibility, why wouldn't you want to get that out the way, especially since your daughter is asking questions like, hey, is this my dad? Like, can we try to figure this out? And they're both eager to do so. I think she's scared of those test results. And I think that putting him in that position to be Luna's father kind of takes that pressure off of her, especially since Bill is already into her. He wants to be a father figure to Luna. So if she can make it seem like, yeah, you're definitely the possible father. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love you, Bill. Yeah. Over, focusing on who could really be the father of Luna's, who could really be Luna's dad. I feel she would definitely go that direction. Poppy is very phony. I do agree.
Well, Belinda said, y'all know Bill hit that all night long.
But still, that was 20 years ago, and she in love with this man. She said she dropped the L-bomb.
Yes,
I've always loved you, Bill.
Yeah, after she saw the Stella Maris.
Oh yeah, she saw the Stella Maris, and she knows she can get shopping sprees and everything. All of a sudden, now he's a possible father, and the way she was acting with Katie, the way those two women were reacting, it was getting on my nerves.
And then she had the nerve to say, "Well, I had him first." No, Quinn and Kelly, which is Liam's mother, had him before you did, ma'am.
And not to mention, he's a billionaire, so plenty of women had him first before you. It was just your turn. And on top of that, he didn't stick with you after that point. So whatever you felt wasn't what he felt at that time. And the way Katie was acting.
Katie and Brooke, they were feeling some kind of way. Y'all both turned this man down in 2023. Both of y'all. Mm-hmm. Did you hear Brooke tell Katie, like, well, would you want to be back with him? Do you still have feelings? I'm like, where's Carter? So Carter's just chopped liver right now, I guess.
I hate that she did this to my man. Just this acting jealous over what Bill is doing. Keep in mind, she had no problem putting Bill off to the wayside, but just to go be with Carter. And now all of a sudden, she wants nothing to do with that fine man with his abs and his sensibility, everything. How dare you do this to my Carter, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, there was no mention of Carter as if they had broken up or something.
Right.
That was a weird conversation.
And oddly enough, you would think that Carter may have brought her up or something, or they don't even mention each other.
Nope.
When was the last time you saw Katie and Carter? Wasn't that Eric's party or something?
Girl, when was Eric's party? That was in February with the whole Luna and the mint thing, right? Yeah, that was in February.
Were they together then at that party? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but it looked like she was feeling some kind of way about that. He should have told me. I mean, I thought we was at a point where we can have some conversation about this. And I'm like, y'all ain't together. You in a whole relationship with Carter. That man don't have to tell you anything about, who he's dating. Now, if it's a situation of bringing the kids around, because they do have a son together, that's one thing. But to say, I'm dating Luna's mom and he don't have to tell you that.
At all. And secondly, Will's not even there.
Exactly.
Will's not even there. He's off in boarding school. So neither parent is raising that child. So Bill is living his life. They wanted him to move on with somebody. Now he did. He moved on to Pill, Pop, and Poppy.
Girl, wait a minute. So where's Liam? Because don't he stay there with his daddy too?
I was wondering why they were sitting on that couch, and then there wasn't a stench of funk after about a year that Liam's been on that mug. I'm assuming maybe Liam moved into one of the rooms in Bill's house at this point. But I guess out of sight, out of mind. That place is big enough for Liam and Bill. Mm-hmm. But
girl, yeah, she's seeing stars. She like, look at this big old house, and this man got a yacht, and he wants to be my daughter's father. Yeah, you could be a possibility. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because she was so sure he wasn't. And then I keep going back to the fact that the way she looked at Finn that day in that
I
office,
know.
that was for a reason. And if Bill was the father, I think she would have wasted no time getting the DNA test and ensuring, like, yeah, sweetie, this is your dad. This is our new life. We're gonna really live the lifestyle. But she still wants to throw out and say that it's a possibility. So
Yeah.
can we please call Maury and get this done and over with, please?
Now some people are saying that she's lying. She might switch the test. I don't
I don't
know.
know
I
how she would do
mean,
that.
I don't know how she gonna do that because Lee ain't gonna help her at the hospital.
Nope. Nope.
But can you imagine if, just say this is all legit, and come to find out that Bill is Luna's dad, Lee is gonna have a conniption. Her son got his psycho mom back, and my sister is dating a billionaire and got a kid with him.
Poor Lee. She's getting the bad rap. It's bad all the way around. Finn hasn't even checked up on his mama, but so busy wrapped up with Sheila. But just, I agree with you. I don't think she would help Poppy in that regard. But this was the most random way to write Luna's storyline. Luna's paternity storyline. I hate this. I'm a little confused as to why they pivoted so much pointing in Finn's direction, or at least Jack's direction, and said, like, look, Bill's not the father, to all of a sudden today, or actually yesterday, she's in love with him, he's a possibility, this, that, and the third. It's very random, and I don't like the way that they're going with the storyline. It's actually a disservice. I really hope Bill's not the father. Another random child. He just putting his seed in any potted plant he can find.
Well, I mean, I think what they probably originally might have was going to go with Finn, and then they switched because Bold is good at loose ends and random storylines that they want to switch to. And so I'm thinking this is a situation where maybe Finn was the original target. But now that Finn is so focused and knee deep in this other storyline with Sheila and Steffi and Hope, they're like, yeah, well, let's just put it back toward Bill now. Which brings him back technically because we hadn't seen Bill in a while. Katie either. So it brings Dunn Diamond back on and Heather Tom back on with this storyline by having all of this away from Finn, and then that puts Finn in this situation in the middle with Steffi and Hope and Sheila. So I could see why they would switch it up. Even though it's random, but they pivoted.
They pivoted, but it's not effective. It's a dead end for that storyline, because as soon as they found out that, I'm assuming they'll make Bill Luna's dad, I guess. Boo, boring. Who's going to continue to interact with Sheila? Because Finn doesn't really interact with Luna all that much, or with Poppy or Bill all that much, where any interaction with Sheila wouldn't do anything for that storyline. So it would actually make more sense if Finn was the father. Then that's where, okay, Luna's safety against Sheila, and then you have Lee having that back and forth with Sheila, and then, Poppy and Lee having their interaction about her sleeping with Finn. There was a lot more layers for it to point in Finn's direction versus Bill's direction, is what I'm trying to say.
Anita Presocia, I hope I said your last name correctly, and welcome to the channel because I haven't seen that name before. She said, I don't understand the dynamics on this show right now. Carter is MIA, Thomas is nowhere to be seen, Liam never works anymore, and Hope seems to be in the heat or something. Be in the heat. That's a good comment. I mean, bold, it seemed to me like they're scrambling. Now, I look at it as entertainment because I'm like, this is interesting to watch. Just with the pivot in itself, and even though it's kind of like you say, random and just crazy, the fact of the matter that they switched that fast is laughable to me. It's just like, oh, okay, this is what we're going with now. Let's see what they're gonna do with this. So that's how I tend to kind of pivot with them, because it's like, but you wanted Finn to, you were pointing to Finn, but then you left us hanging, and now you
Yeah.
pivoted over to back to Bill after you said Bill could not be the father. So.
Hmm.
And then they explained it away by saying, oh, well, I didn't want to tell you because of the implications. And, Lee already sees me as an opportunist. And I didn't want her to think that I'm just coming back here and throw a kid on you because you got money. Because you probably have all kind of women coming at you saying that you the father.
I mean, spoken like a true 304. I get it. That's all I kept. That's all I kept thinking when she was saying that. But it would have benefited her daughter to have her dad in her life.
Right.
It shouldn't have to do with Poppy's embarrassment for the choices that she made. She created a child. Okay, that child wants to know who her father is. That's her responsibility to make sure that that other parent is in her life. That's the bottom line. And now, even as an adult, the way she keeps, like Luna was saying, like, it seems like as an adult, she's very guarded about who the father is. And it's probably because Luna has the ability to try to look for the information herself and understand her mother's 304 ways, because I'm still thinking that there needs to be an entire lineup of all of Poppy's possibility for Luna's daddy at this point. And she's feeding into that gold digger mentality sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Especially after she saw that yacht, and now all of a sudden he's a possibility. Okay, Lee was right.
I think, and see, this is where that whole thing kind of, even though, because she made a statement and she was saying how independent she is and never really needed a man. Well, in order to get pregnant with that daughter of yours, you needed a man to help you do that. And so, when she said that, and then she was like, well, so I thought, I'm like, well, okay, either you want this man to be in your daughter's life or you don't. And it looked like at this point, this is where we're going. And like you said, there could be other possibilities. I don't know.
She said that. She said he could be.
Yeah.
So that means there's definitely more than one.
Exactly. Exactly.
And given that he hit it once, means that there could have been other people who could have hit it once.
Yeah, that whole thing is a mess. But then it goes back to Luna always wanting to know her father, which I think is so unfair, because that child wants to know who their other part of their identity is. And for her to say, well, I'm raising you fine by myself. You don't need to know who the father is. I just did that part of the storyline I never really liked.
Me either. It's disrespectful to that child, because I'm pretty sure Poppy knows who her parents are and was able to have that relationship. We actually don't know. We actually don't know about Lee and Poppy's background like that. No. But either which way, that girl is asking for her father, and is incredibly selfish on Poppy's part to hide that information because she wants to hide her 304 ways.
Yeah, Dawn.
It's all going to come up in the wash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dawn is sitting up there saying that his hashtag is Lee was right.
Yes. Thank you, Dawn. Exactly. Lee gets such a bad rap. I love Lee. I love her changing faces. I feel she's getting a bad rap, and they need to utilize Lee. And I'm still upset, writers, I know y'all listening, why we haven't gotten an interaction between Lee and Finn at this point. Especially since Sheila's alive now, or was always alive.
Yep. So we'll definitely see who, what that paternity test is going to look like. And whether Bill is the father or somebody else.
I hope he's not the father. I was really keeping my fingers crossed. Please recast Jack and make him the father. That way it gives Lee a reason to be mad.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? So
that would really get her a reason to be mad. Like, you would thought Sheila was be the worst enemy. Lee, I could only imagine she could take it a step further than Sheila, especially since she has a medical background.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, child. Well, I will say, I know we're past the sweeps month. However, Young and the Restless is ramping up to be really good. If you didn't hear us at the beginning of the show, tomorrow, if you haven't seen it already, it's going to be a very good episode, especially looking like there's a twist when it comes to the DID Ashley storyline in Paris. And then of course Jack and his stupidity tomorrow, but he finally does do the right thing. But she had to jump through hoops, circle, and a lake of nails to get to that, because Jack was just adamant about that. And then we still got the fallout on whether Steffi, the rest of this week, whether Steffi and Hope and this whole war that's being created, with regards to the cancellation of her line, and then the paternity test results should be whatever. And I'm hoping, like you said, maybe he's not the father, and maybe this is just a lead up to him not being the father, and maybe somebody else, or maybe he is, and they're just going to move on with the storyline, which I could see Bill pulling her out of Forrester and putting her over at Spencer.
I hope not. I hope Bill is just the wallet to help, pay for all of Poppy's paternity test that she needs to get done for her daughter.
Yep, me too. All right, girl. We had a good hour and 17 minute show. It was great. Yeah, that time went. Time flies when you're having fun, girl.
It sure is. Over 100 people tonight too.
Oh yeah.
On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, right? Well, I've been getting a lot of responses on the midweek chat, because usually, to me, in my opinion, they really get to the meat of the storylines on Wednesday. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle of the week, we really get the good stuff. I honestly think the Wednesdays make a better cliffhanger than a Friday, in some cases. Agree. But you guys have really been enjoying this chat, and I see some new faces in here too, new names like Shan and the other young lady that I mentioned, her chat, Anita Preciosa, and I see a lot of new faces in here, so I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. Spoilers are done here for the week. There's also standalone videos, and then recaps that is done daily for both shows, Young and the Restless, Bold and Beautiful. I am doing some rethinking about how to do those, whether I want to do full recaps or just highlight the most important things, because I might not change Bold that much, because you guys are really coming in there for Bold. But Young and the Restless, I might have to do some things where I'm still, giving you guys some sort of a recap, but maybe just highlighting, because sometimes Young and the Restless have some slow moments. Like, was it yesterday or Monday? I was falling asleep through it.
There was one episode, it was the Chelsea and Adam episode. I think that was a little bit slow, but Y&R has its slow moments, but the storylines have been pretty good so far.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that my analytics are showing me that the biggest interest on this channel is Bold. Okay. And so that's, it's giving me clues that I need to, figure out how to draw out more attention for the Young and Restless. Because I've been putting polls over the past 2 years or so since I've had this channel about do you still want recaps on the Young and the Restless? And they're like, yeah. Okay.
I have an
Well.
idea.
Okay. Well, we'll let me know what it
Yeah,
is.
we'll
We'll
talk
talk
about it.
about it. Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah.
it. All right, you guys. For the ones in here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and follow on all of the other platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook group, Threads, Rumble, and X. So all over the place, you'll see little clips here. Each one of the platforms have something different. TikTok usually have nothing but video clips. Instagram has a compilation of some of the daily photos, and then there's a blog too on Medium. And then the Facebook groups usually have questions, and usually Dewan and Delmonica, thanks to them in that group, they pretty much keep up with engaging the content in the Facebook group. I really appreciate them, and of course all of my um, my other panelists like Bree, Trish, and Keish, Jay Money, the moderator who pops in and out as well. So we usually try to keep everybody engaged, and we all have a good time over here on this channel. So, all right,
We
you.
thank you.
Oh, girl, please! I enjoy the conversation. Believe me, I like talking soaps with you guys.
And I love talking, and you guys hear my craziness on this panel.
All right, so on Friday for the newbies, we do have a full week recap live, just like this one. This one is about an hour. I know I'm way over, but we have one on Friday nights that's usually somewhere around 2.5 hours. And we do a whole weekly breakdown. We have different segments. So make sure that you come back on Friday. It's at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 8 Eastern. And then you can grab some snacks, grab something to drink, and we kick back and we talk soaps for the entire week for both shows. So, all right, you guys. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And until then, we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, y'all.